masterclass workshop edition. Okay, we're going to get into how to execute my proven three-step process so that you can set up your very first profitable sales and marketing system. Okay, this is going to help you so that you can actually start to triple your business every 12 months. So I'm super excited to share this with you. And I think that as everyone gets in here, I want to share something, a little story. It's not about me. It's actually about a company that is one of the most epic failures of our time so far, at least of the 21st century. And it's JCPenney. Now, before I go into this, if you heard this story, stay with me now because it's pretty interesting. I dug up a little bit of extra detail. And JCPenney was one of the largest catalog retail businesses in the US, right? We're clear about that. Their stores used to be the place where you went to go actually buy clothes for your work, for church, for children. I mean, you name it, they sold it. But when the market around them was changing, JCPenney couldn't actually find its new niche. And it was faced with this identity crisis. Okay? Now, they have a couple of options that they could do, but they decided to take one that's a lot less active. And so revenue started to dry up drastically when Ron Johnson took over as CEO back in like 2012. And during this time, JCPenney, the company, lost about $985 million, 19,000 employees, and 138 stores were closed. Now that led to a big and large mass exodus of its loyal customer base, right? So by the time the next CEO took over, Mike Ullman, it was too late to fix the damages. Now today, the only way that the JCPenney brand is even alive is through their online catalog business. That's it. It actually stated that as of like mid-2017, they lost an additional 62 million, which led to another 127 stores being closed. Now, the reason why I mention this is because innovation in business can be tricky. And in most cases, it's a game of chance. But the most successful companies are those that continue to innovate and digitalize their strategy. Never resist innovation as a business and make sure you listen to your customers' needs and keep up with the trends. Okay, not only that, but make sure that your growth strategies are in place because you should always be working on improving and trying out different types of innovation strategies. Now, that being said, let's take these steps that we're about to cover right now in your fight against becoming one of the businesses that are failing. You're going to walk away with my three-step process so you can set up your very first profitable sales and marketing system. That is me, Brandon Northwick, and I am excited to be here in front of you today. So what we're going to go through actually is going to be these three things. You're also going to walk away with some cool stuff. So the first thing is going to be the prep work, right? We're going to dive deep into your numbers, your current routine, your expectations, so you can start to develop an investor's mindset and a marketable philosophy. We're not going to go back into the Tony Robbins days and try and get you to feel great about all these great things. No, that should be done by you being in business. What we're going to do today is go through what you're currently doing, diving into your numbers, your current routine, your expectations, because this is what's going to develop this next step for you. I'll be breaking down the process I use so you can see if it fits your vision. And if so, I really do hope that it's going to help you create a new routine and a more refined focus with clear steps of action. We're going to also go through the execution. All right. Now, just like with any recipe, you have to follow the process. If you jump around, skip steps, and make excuses, then you're going to be left with a shitty result. That's not the recipe either. That's the chef. So let's just make sure that we're on each other's side right now. We're a team right here. If you have questions about what I'm going to go through, please, there's an option for you to raise your hand, or there's an option for a Q&A. There's also an option for a chat. Let me know. I would say that I think the raise your hand brings you out. So let's just keep it to the Q&A or the chat. And if you have any questions, just let me know. There is going to be hopefully some time for us to take some Q&A at the end. I do have about 15 to 20 minutes that I've reserved for that, just in case there are some things that come up after we finish. Now, the result of everything that you're going to get by the time we're finished today is going to be you having the framework for a foundation that's built to scale, a strategy for increasing brand equity, and you'll know how to exponentially increase sales conversions. Now here, just to let you guys know a little bit about what I'm sharing with you is actually working. This is our growth over the last little bit, allowing me to think bigger and live bigger with purpose. Now, I'm not going to go into my family, but you can see here by the actual images, I love my family. This is what the systems are for. It's what the processes are for. It's to make sure that you can spend time as you wish, working on the business and living life like you want. Now let's get into the prep work, okay? Because this is why you guys are here, to actually get this system. We heard about a little bit about the failing story with JCPenney, and that, if it's not a shocker, this next step will be. Because we have to understand the first thing with the prep work is knowing your numbers. Having an investor's mindset is important. Okay. Very, 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 very important. The goal isn't to have your business pay for years of bad mistakes in 30 days or less. That sounds harsh, but in order to stay motivated, you have to set realistic expectations, right? Let's be real about this. One of the saddest things about becoming an entrepreneur is if you bought into the reason or the way out, right? If you're thinking, well, I'm working full time as a corporate executive, I want to start a business so that I don't have to work full time as a corporate executive. That's not going to create the sense of motivation that you need to serve the market on the level that's going to create the success that you need. So we have to understand that the goal of your business is not to just solve all problems that have been created over the last 2, 3, 4, 10 years. All right. Now, a base rule for growth is 10% growth each month. How simple can that be? Let's break that down per week. That's 2.5% growth each week. If we can do that, we're hitting a 10% growth each month, which over the course of a year is you doubling your business. Now, that's just with a regular normal mindset, right? Our clients, and what we like to do is we like to shoot for the moon, right? We definitely go big and go big a lot. And so that allows us to grow at a more rapid pace. Our actual clients grow at about 17% per month versus 10%. So it's a big growth process for a lot of our clients, what they're seeing. Now, on the flip side of that is, in order to see that growth, you have to base all your decisions on the long term. You have to be willing to pay the price, because you only have two things as an entrepreneur, right? Time or money. So if you're approaching your sales and marketing system and you're thinking, okay, well, I need to get this much out of my system, but you don't want to invest the time or the money, it's never going to work. It's an equation that's set up to fail. And we don't want to do that, because your system is not an ATM, no matter what the internet says. The thought of having a system is often misleading, right? We hear often that the typical message these days is scale your business overnight. Use one ad campaign to make millions. As appealing as that is, I'm really trying to be nice here. That's not real. If you choose to believe that you can create ATMs online before you've ever built one successful business, you're always going to be disappointed. And that's because a lot of folks who get into that mindset aren't aware of the 4-to-1 rule. This 4-to-1 rule is going to be your holy grail for creating campaigns. You don't even have to worry about setting up a campaign or a sales and marketing system or any type of lead generation or scaling strategy or anything if your cost of service does not match the 4-to-1 rule. Okay? So by applying this rule, you will never feel worried about getting your return back from your investment into paid advertising. You never will. So let's go through the formula. The formula for finding this is your revenue collected divided by the cost per advertisement. That's going to equal your cost per acquisition. That is a big number. We have to know that number. How much is it going to cost to acquire one new client for you? This is the number one number that you've got to know, but it's also the number one number that business owners don't know. I couldn't say how many meetings I've had, but over 600 meetings in just the last 12 months. And I can share with you that of those meetings, I would say 90% of them did not know what they were willing to put in to acquire a new client. Now, that's a recipe for disaster, right? Because let's imagine that you are ready to make that move into paid advertising, but your pricing and your structure, your business model doesn't allow you to actually be profitable. Well, no matter what you do, no matter how good your marketing is, you're never going to reach the point of profitability. So we got to understand that, as an example, if you're selling a $5,000 service, we have to make sure that your cost per acquisition is no greater than $1,250. If that's not possible, then we have to figure out a new way, either an introductory phase product or service to lower the cost per acquisition, or add on more services and value to increase the cost that they're investing with you on the first time around. Those are really the only two options. And that's why I love doing the 4-to-1 rule, because if a client or a prospect comes to us and they say, I want to scale my business, but they're selling $37 products and the cost per acquisition is $50. And that's all they're doing. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? There's no way to actually make that work if that's all they want. So you have to understand the 4-to-1 rule. And that's going to lead us to basic growth principles before ever scaling. The talk of the town is scale your business, scale your business. It's so irritating on my part to hear that from people, because I understand that the point of actual scale is not going to happen until after you have a foundation. You cannot scale until your foundation is set. So scaling only happens after you've proven your concept. Just because your industry is proven doesn't mean your concept is. So for true scaling to ever be possible, you have to create and you have to have in place right now an automated, predictable lead generation system, a system for increasing brand equity, a sales system to convert those leads into clients. And without those, you cannot scale. So a lot of the time people are like, well, just scale your company overnight or just scale your company over the next 3 months. But they don't have a lead generation system. And it's going to take 90 days to actually create the approach and the lead generation system to get it to work optimally. And then you're going to have, depending on your resources, a lag time and to get the brand equity increase and to get those leads to convert, because it's all about resources, it's either time or money. And so the more time that you have to invest, usually it's the less money that you have coming in. And that way, there's going to be a longer lag period. The more money you're willing to invest to get that data up front so that you can start to really grow and get the lead generation system tested, honed in, optimized, and then start building out the other additional assets, it's now to a point where you can start thinking about scaling. But until that happens, that's an afterthought. That's something that's just going to add more pressure. You're going to look at everyone out there in their cool cars. And you're going to go, I wish I was out there playing too. But you're going to be that person inside your house studying on a Friday night because you haven't reached that level of success yet. So it's not that it's not that they don't, didn't do what you're doing. And it's not like there's a step that you can skip. It's really just going through the process. And so once we have these systems set up, then we can go out and play with our friends, right? And that's what we want to make sure is that we do have these things just rocking and rolling for us on an everyday basis. Because what you tell yourself matters. I'm going to share with you something that not a lot of people talk about. I mean, I usually have to pay money to get the ins and outs of what people are paying for their own clients. And I have no problem doing that, right? I've invested thousands of dollars with people who I absolutely love learning from. And that is just so I can get closer to them and I can see exactly how their business works. From us, I'm going to give you a 100% transparent look. $700 to $2,000 per client, depending on the service that we're offering and the stage that they're in. Now, if that's like, oh my gosh, if that's appalling to you, if you're like, man, I just can't even afford anything like that, I would never be able to make my business work without that, then you have to go back to organic strategies, basically the old school way of door knocking. But just what I mean is online, social media, SEO, right? Farming, social media groups, things like that. There's an active way, which I'm going to get to in a second, that you can actually be marketing because the amount of budget that you have, your marketing budget will dictate how many clients you get. Like we said, if the client acquisition is 700 to 2,000, let's say that my average, if we add that as 2,700 divided by 2, was that 1,350? So I'm paying like 1,350, 1,400 bucks on average per client, no matter where they're at. Well, if I only have a $1,500 per month budget, why would I expect to get 5 clients at the end of the month? That doesn't make any sense, does it? So your objective is going to be to gain 1 client per month, plus you're going to build the heck out of your list because we have your value funnel running. So because we're serving the market actively, we're generating a list and we're getting a percentage of those people to actually take the next step. You now know that, okay, if I'm selling a $5,000 service, I'm investing $1,500 per month, I'm going to be getting right under 4 to 1. It's right under 4 to 1 return. Right now, if that client acquisition is 1,350, 1,250, you're spot on that point. Because you still have to make sure that your service meets that 4 to 1 rule if you ever want to truly scale. Another thing to pay attention while setting expectations is so important. Your list is your future. We don't own what's on Facebook. We don't own what's in Instagram or on YouTube or on Google. Those are pixelated, tracking, monitored things that are going to be able to help us, but we don't own it. We do own the list. So no matter what platform you go to, you're going to still own that list. And that's why you want to continue to build it up. Email marketing, it doesn't matter. Follow a man named Dean Jackson. The guy is amazing if you don't know who he is. He's still selling courses on how to actually create profitable email marketing campaigns. He's a dude that I learned from about 3 or 4 years ago, but the guy's a genius. And I'm very, I understand that if he's still the type of person that's seeing email marketing as a way of conversion, I'm not going to give up on it. There's other indicators, but that's just the main one for me, right? And so what I'm sharing with you is that don't give up on your list. Build up the list, build up the list, build up the list. And the only way to do that is to provide them valuable content. That's going to get you 1% of the list bookings each month, okay? Because the reason this is valuable, again, is that compound effect. 1% of 100 this month is going to be less than 1% of 1,000 in 3 months. So as you're growing your list, your 1% gets greater, and you're going to be seeing more and more people register and book and then become a client. Now let's get to the passive and active. Your expectations, right? If you're trying to put a lot of pressure, or if you're afraid of putting a lot of pressure on the ad campaign, then we have to make sure that you have the passive marketing or the active marketing in place. Passive marketing just consists of behavior that can be done once and you reap it over and over again. You know about this stuff, right? The videos, the content, the recorded training, the paid advertisings. Active marketing, this is where you're going to pick up the phone. You're going to call your prospects. You're going to actually get out of the house, away from the computer. You're going to do the things that are necessary. You're going to be out there in the field actively pursuing your market. This is I don't know, it's like an anomaly now to run across an actual business owner who's eager to talk to their market. To go, you know what, who cares if cold calling is a thing of the past, supposedly. If it's going to get you to a point where you have people who are in your area that are, let's say, within walking distance of your business, and you can get on the phone with these business owners and say, hey, I have something that could possibly be of service to you. Would you make 15 minutes if I could show you how to do X, Y, or Z? Maybe you do a stop in and you go, hey, look, I just created this for you, came across your website, came across this information about your company. I felt like you might find this information valuable. Here you go, just ran this report for you. I'll call back in a couple of days to see if you found any value out of it. Right? Why? It's so rare that you find that from business owners these days. And that's another reason why advertising is so like, why need my ads to work? Well, yeah, I imagine because you're afraid to pick up the phone. You're so worried about people that are gonna find you on the internet that never once decided to do business with you before that day to just make up their mind and go, you know what? I trust this person, right? It's very rare that that's ever gonna happen. So it's our job to make sure we earn the right to do business with these people. That's where your active marketing comes in. All right, we have to be on top of that. Now, the brand equity, your expectations of your brand should be that you can only create a strong brand through trust maximizers. If we create these trust maximizers, you're able to really shrink. The whole point is to be able to shrink the actual sales process. When we started to develop these trust maximizers in one of our most recent case studies, we were able to get his buying process. Imagine he had a lead base that was about 20,000 people, or about 18 to 20,000 people big. And he was only, averaging about 9.5 months before someone would purchase his $2,000 course. 9.5 months when I did his audit. That's crazy. After it was about 6 weeks, 7 weeks of working with us and us building in the brand equity, we were able to shrink that 9.5 month gap period from someone becoming a lead to doing business with them down to 7.5 weeks, right? That is huge. That is a reduction that anybody would pay big bucks for. And that's the power of brand equity. Okay, it brings in what we call invisible ROI. It actually doesn't create the sense of, I'm going to give this person money based off of his brand. It goes to, I'm going to listen to his sales message based off of his brand. I'm going to give him my future attention based on what he just shared with me right now. Okay, because once you have this set up, it's very simple to create. This brand equity is only comprised of 3 things: your philosophy, your methodology, and your tactics. Because without working towards building that equity, your costs will always be higher than they should be. And so we're going to start building the plan, okay? This is the plan that we go through, and it's fill in the blank style, okay? And it is going to be yours for free. Stick around until the end. I'm going to share with you how to exactly get this template for you, okay? Let's get to the execution now. So we've gone through the mindset, right? We understand the expectations. We know what we're going to be shooting for. Let's get to the execution. How do we execute this, right? If you're going to be creating a core service or a sales and marketing system, the entire system, you have to be clear on your core service. Now, your core service is in order for you to actually feel clear, you have to answer these questions. So I'm going to ask them to you, and I would like for you to answer either in the comments, in the chats, or just out loud if the answer is probably no. But are you clear on the top 5 problems that your service is solving? I mean, the major problems, the nerve-revealing problems. Yes or no? Are you clear on the top 100 benefits, both direct and indirect? Awesome. I see some comments coming through. And a great exercise for this is to actually write out the top 100. It seems daunting, but if you can actually write out the top 100, both direct and indirect benefits of your product or service, you are by far going to be ahead of the game. Because when you think about, well, what angles can I run with? Who is it that's going to be buying? What is it that they need from me? And why is it they buy now? This exercise, let's say that you can create 25 direct benefits, meaning that it directly impacts that person that's buying from you or signing up with you. Well, what happens indirectly? What happens to that person's family? What happens to their friends? What happens to the future of their children? Are you opening up doors and giving more opportunity to people than those that you're just doing business with? That's how you're going to create these indirect benefits that are directly tied to your service. All right. And if you can do this, it's going to be great. And the final thing is, does your pricing actually match or meet the 4-to-1 criteria? Right? That's what I'm wondering, is does it actually meet the 4-to-1 criteria? Let me see. I see some. Let me see. It's not letting me see the questions or the chat. I gotta love this. Gotta love it. Here we go. Okay. So let's get to this real quick. Just want to make sure that we're all good. Everyone's getting their stuff taken care of. All right. Big idea. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Yes. Okay. And you're going to, yeah, it's a big deal right now for us to get everything going here. And your primary client, if you know what your core service is, then you should know who it's made for. And are you clear now? A couple more questions as to who is experiencing those problems every single day. Where do they hang out? What are the pain points that you want to touch on first? Right? The best exercise for this is my situations and solutions exercise, and stick around until the end to see how you can get that for free as well. Okay, because it's very important that these are clear as day. Because there's a lot of different ways for us to approach who it is that wants to do business with you, but more importantly, who do you want to do business with? You can fill your client base and your roster with people who are easy to close, but a pain to work with, because you're solving the wrong problems, right? I know that if I'm solving a problem for someone and saying, hey, let me show you how to get the cheapest clients, I'm going to get a lot of people who probably are looking for a shortcut, not really looking to make the put in the work. But now if I start to create giveaways and offers that are going to match my primary client who has the mindset of, you know what, it's not about getting the lowest cost per acquisition, it's about who pays the most and can still remain profitable. That's the name of the game, right? I'll say that again. So I'm looking to attract people who aren't scraping the bottom of the barrel going, I can only afford $50 per client because of this and this. I want folks that are going, look, I want to be able to invest $500. I want to be able to invest more than the top gurus out there, because I'm still going to be profitable and I know I can out deliver all of the service. I know I can do better. Right, that's what we're looking for. So this is going to be a big indicator of your offer, because your offer is going to match now that primary client's needs. And more offers will always equal more opportunity, which will always equal more clients. Always. It's always. And since your service is not your offer, you can actually create offers on the fly that you know are going to convert into sales because of the exercises above. So the situations and solutions exercise not only lets you identify the major problems, but it helps you craft up the offers, so that within each of these specific demographics that you're going to target, you can speak directly to them and the benefit that they need right now, making it almost irresistible for what they're going to try and what they're looking to accomplish in their life. And it becomes simple, because if you're selling a service, and that service now is, let's say, a $5,000 service, you have 4 things that you're going to wrap that service around to create its offer. You're going to add bonuses to it. You're going to add some scarcity. You're going to add some guarantees, and you're going to add an IIO. Now that is going to be your first offer. You notice that the actual service that you're delivering did not change. You're not adding new products. You're not adding new services. You're going to go ahead and create multiple offers. So you're going to attach now this 4-element offer formula to your current service. You're going to say, okay, well, if they sign on with me today, what bonuses are they going to get? And these bonuses are going to match the primary client's needs, wants, desires that you just figured out. And you're going to match it directly to the benefits that you've laid out on the pieces of paper. So now we clearly understand that the bonuses are going to be tied directly to the person that wants it right now. We're going to apply some scarcity, some real scarcity that's going to help them make a decision sooner rather than later. And then you're going to apply some guarantees. This is what we call risk reversal. If you do not have the risk reversal, then you are making it very difficult for these people to want to do business with you. It could be that you're an awesome person. It could be that you're completely trustworthy. But people don't care about that. Not until you've proven it. It's just the way it is. So you've got to be able to guarantee that what you say you can do, you can actually do, and then back it up with a guarantee. And then we want to add the IIO. Now, the IIO, in its simplest term, is an irresistible, intriguing offer. Now, you can do this so many different ways, but I've noticed that most people who are afraid to deliver the IIO, who say, you know what, I really don't have anything that I can give to make it irresistible. It's they are really unsure about their ability to deliver results. So as an example, my IIO for one of my kickoff calls is that if when we meet, you feel like I wasted even a second of your time, I'll send you $100 via PayPal immediately after our time together. Right now, in 4 years, I have never had to send off $100 because no one has felt like I've wasted their time because of the way that we have everything set up with the system. We're not going to meet with people who we don't know that we can help, right? So these offers are very important to your ability to get higher conversions. The bonus, the scarcity, the guarantee, and the IIO are not something that you would, that are not mandatory. You don't have to have them. But I have found in my testing that if you remove any one of these elements, any one of these 4 elements, that your conversions will suffer. So we want to make sure that we're creating new offers, and the offers now that you're going to create are going to be comprised of your bonuses, your scarcity, your guarantees, and your IIOs, and you're going to test them separately on their own. So if you create 3 different bonuses, or let's say 3 to 5 different bonuses, you test those bonuses with the same guarantee and IIO and scarcity, you now have 3 different offers. And then you test 3 different guarantees, you test 3 different IIOs, you test 3 different levels of scarcity, and now you've gotten about 12 to 16 different offers that you can test within your market, and you can start to see now which one is going to get you the best return, and it's going to help you build a client base of your perfect client. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, I can always answer any questions for you, because that leads us into the next execution part of the media buying strategy. So many people think that Facebook is the way to go. Facebook is, it's where I should be, right, Brandon? No, not necessarily. I have clients right now that are, let's say, working towards building a client base filled with remodelers and builders and things like that. HVAC folks, and depending on the city, depending on the objective, it depends. But for some cases, it does make more sense to start on another platform and drive traffic to your offer, and then retarget people on Facebook or Instagram, and then use that in your marketing strategy. So instead of just relying solely on Facebook and going, okay, I got to make Facebook work, Facebook is a great place, but it's not the only place. As a matter of fact, we have great success with Google campaigns, and it's because of the way the system is set up, right? So you have to be able to create not only the fundamental mindset, but then we also have to understand that during the execution, we have to be able to refine our core service, refine our market, refine our offer, and be very clear about our media buying strategy. Because if you do choose to use Facebook, just please do me a favor and make sure that you have the training to set up the campaigns successfully, please. If you want to make a donation to Mr. Zuckerberg, please do so to the Northwicks Foundation instead, right? Because I've been there. I was just completely thrown back by how I can make this work on Facebook when I first started. I didn't have the training, and I wanted to do it on my own. Nonsense. Don't do that. Find the training. I offer training. There's people out there that offer training. So many things out there. So just make sure you have the skill sets to set up the campaigns, because if you have a great offer and you got a great business model and you're really out there helping people, but you can't get folks to see that you're in business, oh man, it's frustrating, right? Well, once we do have the clear understanding about how we're going to buy the media, and all that means is just advertising, then we want to actually set up the client journey, because we need to know that based on that platform, how are we going to create this perfect journey? Are we going to take them from Facebook to Google, and then through the audience network, and then through email and retargeting? What are we going to do? How are we going to get them to become a lead and move forward down the actual client journey? Because the time you invest to create the optimal path for your prospects will ultimately be that deciding factor. Okay, I promise you, if you are planning on making it as a coach, consultant, marketing agency, or local business owner, you have got to make sure 100% that you know these 7 steps and that you're mapping them out. The first step is, how are you going to get there? How are you become aware? How are you going to move yourself from obscurity? Creating awareness within your market. Awareness is not attention, right? Awareness is not attention. Remember that. Remember, we talk about, like, there's impressions versus reach. Just look at that. Impressions versus reach. If you look at your data right now on Facebook or Google or anywhere, awareness would be the impression, but the reach would be the attention. You'll see there's a big difference in that. And then we also have conversions. Now, how are we going to get them to convert? And then how are we going to get them to move up the ascension ladder so that they can buy more often at a higher level of products and services? And then how we get them to become just a loyal client that just doesn't go anywhere. And then become a raving fan speaking about our products and services. And then becoming a brand ambassador, really selling for us and sending us referral after referral after referral, right? That's the goal. How are we doing this? So a lot of people stop at the ad, right? They're like, oh, I got to build an ad. I'm just missing an advertisement, because that's what the freaking market is saying. There's all these people out there that are gurus talking about, oh, well, all you need is one ad. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's one ad. It's a big secret. But look at everything I'm sharing with you guys. I mean, this execution is beyond one ad. We haven't even got to the ad creation, right? We're just talking about structuring and mindset and things. And look at everything that needs to be put in place the right way for any campaign, for any of those one ads to actually do what they say they can do, right? We have to take full account of this. So let's look at now how we're going to build this out. Phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Super simple. And this is going to be our value pitch close. This is the value pitch close method. This is it right here, systematically broken down to help you generate leads, increase your brand, and start to get more clients. So if you look at phase 1, this is where we will remove you from obscurity. This is your lead generation system. And the first impression is crucial to ongoing engagement. If you have the short-sighted side business model and it's predicated on bait and switch, you're going to lose every time. Use this opportunity when you first meet somebody online to give them everything that you have in a way that creates more interest to want to do business with you. Right? Don't hold anything back. The people that want to do business with you are going to do so because you've helped them. It's not because of some random act of kindness that they're trying to give you, right? They actually want help, and they believe, and they're trusting you to do it. So the worst thing we could do as business owners is hold back the stuff that they are in desperate need of, right? Because that's just not really fair. It isn't. And that's why I got into business, was to actually do this right now on a big scale, was to make sure that we can actually help people grow their company without holding anything back. But that's not where it ends, is with the value. A lot of folks, they'll stop there. They'll go, well, I did my value funnel. I've got leads coming in. What do I do next? I don't have enough time for this. Or I would like just to people purchased from the value funnel. I would like that too. And I'll be 100% honest that the value funnel that we have running right now generates me meetings at 300% higher than my retargeting from phase 3. Just going to share that with you. $300 per meeting from a value funnel, $100 per meeting from a retargeting direct response campaign. Right? Big difference. So you can create solely on your value funnel, but it's going to cost you in the long run. So we want to make sure that then after the value funnel is created, you have your pitch from your maximizer setup. This is going to be your branding system, comprised of what we talked about, your philosophy, your methodology, and your tactics. Continuing the conversation by sharing more about what you do, right? Why you do what you do, how you get it done, what you've done, and that's showing that you will be able to earn their business. You have to show up every day, right? In order for us to show up, we have to systematically place you in front of these people. I'm not saying to actually show up every day in front of these folks, because that would be very taxing, right? So there are going to be what we call chunking out your day to make sure that you can get the amount of content created that's going to build this trust, and it's going to be tailored to the actual market that you're bringing in through the value funnel. Okay, so I want to make sure that we understand that. Your trust maximizer videos, your philosophy, your methodology, and your tactics should all support what they're coming in through and seeing from you the very first time. Okay? And then phase 3 is going to be all about how we can get more clients through direct response sales campaigns. This is your sales system, right? Taking people who have engaged with your business and walking them through a series of conversations systematically and strategically placing you on now multiple platforms that are demonstrating that you can actually help them. This is the moving parts. Very simple, 3 moving parts. You have a value funnel, you have a branding funnel, which is where we pitch, and then you have your direct response sales funnel, which is where we close. These are it. Super simple. You have your sales and marketing system set up with all 3 of these working together. All right. Oops, saw something come through real quick. Okay, perfect, great stuff, Tony. You're welcome, Dion, man. Very happy you're getting some value out of this. Super happy. Had a lot of time, a lot of fun making this. And now we got to get to the triple threat. If you're relying on your paid advertising to do 100% of your movement, there's a lot of stress on that thought. I know that my gut turns upside down if I'm relying 100% on my paid advertising and my paid advertising doesn't give me a return, right? You have, at the very last quarter of 2018, a lot of business owners lost money on Facebook. And the reason why is because they did not account for their final quarter increase, which happens every year. Facebook has been in business, right? They have a final quarter increase, which justifies their price increase and inventory decrease in the next following year, right? It's just crazy how it works. The costs start to settle right about this time of year. After about a week in, like we are right now, you'll see costs start to settle again, and the inventory is now opened up. You have a lot of people who are not advertising because it's not the end of the year. So during that time, that last quarter, if you didn't have any other avenues of generating leads, you could have cost yourself a lot of money. Not only in the advertising that didn't bring a return, but in the lack of awareness from the market coming closer to you based off just organic activity you could have been putting out there. So if you've ever said, I need to get a return on my advertising, I understand that, right? Because getting an ROI is a must when it comes to advertising or to investing. And remember, please remember, that's what we're doing as business owners. We are investing our resources in hopes for a return. When you started your business, nobody guaranteed that it would be successful. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you did any research before you started, all the data point to less than 15% of businesses making it to year 5. So to avoid becoming a statistic, you have to have all 3 pillars working for you: paid traffic, search traffic, and social media traffic. Because if you ever want a powerful system, you're going to have to give all 3 areas attention and have a process for each. That's where folks fall short. They're like, well, I can't do all that, damn it, I just can't do it. Yes, you can. If you had a system and a process for each of these, you're talking hours each week. That's it, hours each week, and you're off to the races focused on the things inside your business. You can go check out Global Windex. It's a great site for getting information. Global Windex states that 85% of millennials search for a brand on Google or social media channel after being introduced to them for the first time. So let me ask you, if somebody goes and searches for your brand right now on the internet or on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, what are they going to find? What are they going to find? We have to control that. We have got to control that. And I'm going to share with you why in just a second. So the result, now that we're going through the result, right? If you were able to have everything that we just shared about rocking and rolling with you, right? The mindset, the expectations, the system, value funnel 1, we have the trust maximizers, we got our direct response, everything's going, we're refined on our offer, we know who we're marketing to. The result of this, the first thing you're going to see is a strong foundation that's built to scale. You're going to have a clear mission, a clear vision, consistent lead flow, systems and processes to convert leads, and data that's allowing for predictable revenue forecasts, plus systems for self-efficiency, systems to train new employees, and a multi-channel presence. Right? I mean, that sounds like a pretty damn good result. Another thing you're going to see is predictable lead costs and a proof of concept. Before anybody becomes a client of ours, they have to understand the lead generation game and the work that goes into creating a sales process that converts. The main reason building your database is so important is because it serves the market. And secondly, it gives you feedback on your concept. Right? We can't think we know what the market wants. We have to know what the market wants. And the only way to know is through data, emotionless data, logic, right? It's so painful when you put in work into something and the market says, bleh, I freaking hate it. Take it back, I don't want it. Because we could either continue to squish that square peg into the round hole and go, well, you know what, it might fit one day somewhere along the line. There might be one person who thinks that this is great. And that's true. You can bleed your whole account until it ends up, you end up closing your doors. Or you can follow the system and start to really understand that data is what's going to help you create this next move of yours, and that the game is to build a lead generation funnel that can then fund every other asset in your business. That's what we're going to look at next. Okay, so the third thing you're going to see is increasingly strong brand. Your brand is only made up of what your market perceives to be true about how you do business. That's a very important statement, right? I'm going to say it again. Your brand is made up of what your market perceives to be true about how you do business. It's not your logo, not your tagline. If I could have the tagline that says, I care, I care about business owners and they are everything to me, or whatever it may be, just showing that I love everybody. And then they go to my reviews or to anywhere and it's like, didn't listen, didn't deliver, didn't do this, didn't do this, didn't do this. Well, I can say that my brand represents strength and honesty, but come on, does it really? It's what the market perceives. So it's not about us. It's not about what we want the brand to look for and stand for and everything like that. That's only going to be if they perceive it that way. So how do we get them to do that? Well, number one is be in control of the content you're creating for your brand, for your product, for your service, so that when they do search for you, you are in control of what they find, right? This is where interviews, JVs, PR, things of that nature start to become very important, because that's leveraging other people's status to make sure that you can get seen for what you do best. But on the flip side, if you don't have any of that, it's okay. You just have to make sure you're creating the content yourself. Because if you let these people think for themselves, it's a natural disaster, because they're going to end up basing your company on their own past experiences. And with 68, this is a true stat, 68% of people partnering with bad companies these days, the odds are not in your favor. And this is why it's important for you to do the work and show them that, you are who you say you are, and you can show them exactly what you stand for. Once you have that going in front of them, I mean, come on, isn't it? It's very simple for them to make a decision that is going to be benefiting for them, or they're going to make the decision to go, this person's beliefs and the way he runs his business, what he expects from his clients, it's just not what I'm into. So I'm going to go the other way. And that's what we want. We want your brand to repel the folks that you don't want to do business with and to attract those that you do. You're also going to see an increase in conversions without having to overcome a ton of objections or write any proposals. The way my system is designed, you'll have very little of any hard selling or to do or unnecessary work to do. The last thing I want you to do is fill out these damn proposals for people who aren't going to buy from you anyway. I'll tell you, in 4 years, I think I've written 10 proposals. 10. Of those 10, none of them bought. None of them, right? I mean, what am I doing writing proposals? After I went through that in my first year, I started to craft my sales process, and that's why the VPC method is the way that it is because I was tired of taking 2 to 4 hours to write a proposal that I'd email off that wouldn't get looked at for 5 days. And when it did get looked at, it was like, I got to run it by my team. I have to do this. Oh, I'll get back to you. And then next thing you know, it's 3 weeks later, and I can go with somebody else. It's unnecessary. Right? With the right system put in, the right sales and marketing system, you don't have to worry about any of that. And you're also going to see long-term campaigns that require very little maintenance. When you follow the process, you're going to have these campaigns that are going to last years on end. The VPC method is the blueprint to automating your client acquisition so you can focus on the areas of your business that matter the most to long-term growth. Very important for you to do. You don't need to be inside of your ad account worrying about copy, worrying about new images. You don't need to be creating new funnel pages. It's just a waste, right? That's not where the money's at. So another thing you're going to see is that a sales and marketing system that you can replicate over and over again, because the name of the game is to create as many profitable assets in your business as possible. So let's go through an example. If we can create system A that can serve the main demographic in your market, that would then allow system B to be created. And now we can test either new markets, we could test new services. You could use this method to start to take on new client fulfillment and just create a white label service out of this, right? This method is there for you guys to take and run. All right, it's very important that we see the results of this. So let's go ahead and, take 1 second, see if you guys, got any questions as we wrap this up. But a quick recap is going to be, here's everything that you just learned, right? So you know now how to gather your numbers and set your expectations so you can start to develop the investor's mindset and philosophy. You know that with the execution and following the steps that we covered today, you'll be on your way to creating and recreating your sales and marketing systems over and over again. And you know that the result of doing this, you'll have a framework for a business that's built to scale. You'll hopefully be clear on a lot more of the processes for automating your lead generation, increasing your brand equity, and exponentially increasing your sales conversions. But here's where it gets even more fun, everybody, okay? Because would you like me to help you build this system over the next 67 days? Together, we'll build a predictable client getting system that generates you 10, 20, 40, even 80 new client meetings every single month. And so if you are excited about automating your lead flow, building brand equity, systematizing your sales process, and having a scalable business, then I am looking for a couple of more spots with my dream clients. I imagine that since you're still here, you enjoyed the training and that you're thinking about adding a value-based sales approach to your own business. And you believe that my VPC method should have you crushing your goals over the next 9 weeks. So here's what I want you to do next. All right, everybody, visit BrandonNorthwick.com. I'm going to bring up that site for you in just a second so you can see what it looks like. But head on over to BrandonNorthwick.com and book your 2020 profit planning kickoff call. Because after the kickoff call, you're going to walk away with a clear execution plan for getting more clients, the perfect sales process for increasing sales, your perfect client experience laid out in detail, and expectations based on your goals and resources, and you're going to know exactly where to find some immediate cash flow assets. Okay, I want to make sure that you leave this call with some things that can get some income turned around right away. And only if you absolutely love what I put together for you will we discuss what it looks like for you to become a member of my coaching program. Do whatever it takes, Sales and Marketing Academy 2.0. Now, this is for coaches, consultants, agency owners, and experts who are currently in business making some sales. You're selling info products, one-on-one or group coaching, consulting, live events, or done-for-you services, and you know that you're good at what you can do and you can add another 6 figures to your income, okay? But you also have to know, I should say, you also have to value results above everything else, right? I'm really only looking to serve and work with people who truly help valuing people and really serving their market. And you have to understand that you got to have some skin in the game. Now, this is not for those folks who are thinking about starting a business. No offense, but it's just not going to work out for you right now. And for those who want to complain, definitely not a program for you. If you're stuck in information gathering mode, not prepared to take action or get results, or if you're seriously not serious about adding that extra 6 figures to your income over the next 12 months. Now, the better the fit, the better the results. I am looking for win-wins here. But to be honest, I can't just let anybody inside, right? You can agree with that. Hopefully you can respect that. I've got to guard this, right? My members and my clients are very important to me. Very important to me, and I make sure that I'm there for each and every one of them. So I just can't let anybody in. So here's how the process works. You're going to get a personal, custom, tailored, one-on-one 2020 profit planning kickoff call with you and me, okay? And that's going to happen when you visit BrandonNorthwick.com. This is where we really begin working to figure out what you want and if we're a good fit, and then how to make it possible for you in the fast amount of time. Now, this is limited, all right? My time is limited, just like anybody's in the day, so I can only help a couple of people throughout the next week with this particular call and getting them set up in the Academy this way. So visit the link below at BrandonNorthwick.com and schedule the best time for us to meet. Now, what's the cost to join the Academy, you might be asking? Well, my program was selling for a one-time payment of $58.63, and that was for lifetime access. And that included everything with the coaching calls that we had 2 times per week live, a 9-week proven curriculum to get you set up and built to scale, worksheets, accountability templates, scripts, private Facebook group access. And that was for as long as you were in business, right? Lifetime access. Now, for being here today and booking your call, we're going to go ahead and cut that down quite a bit. And it's only going to be a $2,000 one-time access with lifetime. Now, your second bonus you're going to get is going to be a private 30-minute strategy session, because I know that sometimes that personal touch is very important. So I want to make sure that not only are you going to get everything that you need within the Academy, but that I spend some time with you personally to make sure that you get all the help that you need. Very important that you guys hit the ground running, and very important that we see some quick results and some quick wins. That's only going to happen if we meet personally and you show up to the actual group calls. Bonus number 3 is I'm going to give you some, oh man, this is a good package, right? My top 10 ads, top 4 lead magnets, my video scripts, my sales letter templates. And these, I'll be honest with you, just those, the 10 to 4, the scripts and the sales templates, those things right there alone have brought in just over $100,000 in business. Just those, with that one campaign I'm going to share with you. All right, I'll even give you the funnel if you'd like. I have no problem with that as well. And number 4 is going to be a complete sales process assessment, because sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. So even as you go through this training today, you might be thinking, well, damn, it opened up my eyes a little bit, but I'm still a little unsure about X, Y, or Z. Well, don't worry, I got your back. I'll give you a complete sales process assessment to make sure that not only are you going to be clear on what needs to be done, but you can actually see exactly what holes need to be filled. And I'll give you the timeline to fill them and the priority in which to fill them, so that you can start getting some results fast. That's a total savings for registering and booking your call today of over $3,000, $3,863, right? And now you might be wondering, who could this really work for me? I just want to introduce to you real quick, Ryan, a gentleman who's worked with us, and he went from not knowing who his market was, right, to knowing how to get in front of them, how to craft his business model, and do everything to a point where he's now experiencing $20,500 days in less than 12 months, right? We have John, who went from no process and 0 clients to 19 new clients paying $6,000 in just 21 days. Now, how would you like to go from having to rely on word of mouth, cold emails, and social media for new clients to having a predictable, endless appointment system with qualified prospects each month? That's what we were able to do for this gentleman, right? Then you look at Lauren. She went from perpetual launch mode to over 41,000 in membership sales. This is a big moment for her to be able to remove this cycle of spikes, to be able to say, oh, I'm going to launch, and then 90 days later, I'm going to launch, and then 90 days later, I'm going to launch. And then so there's no income for 90 days, or at least not as much as during the launch, right? So we wanted to automate that, and now she's on track to have a 7-figure business with less than 12 months. Then you look at Bud, from one location and plateauing at 22,000 per month to 35,000 per month and opening up a second one. All right. He, amazing gentleman to work with. He has some serious ambition, and I love that. But his attrition was killing him. For every 6 members that came on, he was losing 5 of them. He was heavily relying on organic traffic and word of mouth, and now he has a simplified client acquisition system that literally allowed him to scale to a second location here in Texas. So, I mean, amazing story. And then you have Luke from selling only live events, right? When we first worked with him before he started implementing the VPC method, he was only selling at live events, right? If he didn't get on stage, he didn't make any sales, or he relied on organic, search and things like that. But nothing predictable, right? Nothing systematic. Now he has a defined message and better market position, and he has a system that brings in new clients on demand without him having to ever pitch the offer himself. So we're going to end with Kent. Kent, right? From 0 leads and no meetings, having 10, 20, even 40 qualified meetings per month. Now, this is an amazing gentleman as well, who just devotes every single bit of his craft to his market. And that's what I love about helping folks like that. He had no message, no position, 0 lead gen, just a big heart. Now he understands clearly who he helps, why they help him, why they need the help, I should say, how to craft the offers, and a system set up that generate new leads with a newfound skill to selling. So if you have any questions, share them with me now. Let's go ahead and visit BrandonNorthwick.com so you guys can see what you guys are getting into. Let's take a look. All right. So when you click over, you're going to go ahead and see and be brought to this page here. And as you scroll down, you're going to see just some things on what to do next. And then we have the calendar here. Now, the calendar you're going to see goes out to Wednesday. If you do not see a time that fits for you, please feel free to email me, and I'll make sure to get you taken care of at a time that best suits you. But you're just going to click on the time that best fits. You're going to fill in your name, your email, and the best contact number. You're going to go ahead and book now. Once you go ahead and do that, it's going to take you to a short questionnaire that's going to help me understand more about your situation. You're going to fill that out, and you will be ready to go. So I hope that you guys got a ton of value out of today, and you're able to walk away with a newfound understanding on how to create your sales and marketing system, and understand that there's a lot that goes into it. So I'll stick around for another few seconds. I appreciate everybody for joining and the questions, and everybody that was showing up today. Awesome stuff. I see that we are rocking and rolling. We went right about an hour too. So not too bad. All right, everybody. Looks like you guys are solid. I really do look forward. Oh, got one coming in. Let's see here. How do we get the forms if we can't afford your program? Oh, no problem, brother. I can email you. Go ahead, Christopher. Email me at info, I-N-F-O, at the Northwicks. Right, info at the Northwicks. And then I'll make sure to send over the what we were just talking about, the template and everything for you. All right. Anybody who does want to go ahead and book their call, we will be going over that together. So there will be no left to guessing. Won't be worrying about anything about what goes where or how to identify my cost. We'll be going through that together to make sure you have everything that you need. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And we do have payment options. So just in case you were wondering about installment plans, we do break this down into 3 payment options. And so if that is something that you're more interested in, go ahead and book the call. We'll go through all the options and make sure it's affordable for you. This program is more designed to get you guys the system set up, right? This is lifetime access, a 9-week curriculum, and 2 meetings per week with us personally so that we can get you taken in the right direction. All right. So do people ascend from do it yourself to done for you? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really a done with you because the program is an interactive program and we're going to be meeting every week, right? And so we would go into your account. We would actually start to create these things together. And then with the bonuses applied from being here on the webinar today, you would actually get an additional time frame where we can go into your account and build out everything based on what you're learning inside the academy. So this would give us an opportunity to do your market research, define your offers, craft your pitch, define your market position, and then start to really create that perfect system specifically for you based on what your objective is and what your current resources are. Yeah, great question. Great question. Oh, and then also one thing that was asked was about the guarantee. We do offer a guarantee, just to let you know. Inside of the academy, there is a money-back guarantee where if in the first 30 days, the actual, if you're going through the program, if you feel like there has not been one statistical improvement, we will return every bit of the investment. But the more important guarantee is actually the 9-week guarantee. That 9-week guarantee states that if you go through the program, you complete the program, and you still have not seen a return from your investment, I will be meeting with you personally every week, no group, no anything, me and you meeting personally until you do. That way you have no, there's no like feeling like you're on an island. You don't have to worry about doing anything like that. You said someone getting started would not be a good fit right now. Oh yeah, no, fill it out, Chris. No, the thing about it is getting started, and if you're thinking about it and you are thinking like, hey, I need some ideas on should I go into consulting or should I be a digital agency owner? That probably is a little too early. But if you're already, you're gung-ho, you're like, look, dude, I'm going to make this happen. I have a skill set. I'm already starting to build and refine what I'm going to be going after. Absolutely. Head on over to brandonnorthwick.com. Let's spend some time together. And you're going to walk away with, at the very least, the entire template that's filled out together, right? With an entire sales process that's going to be fitting to your needs at this time. So at the very least, you're going to walk away with a lot more clarity. And I don't feel like you're wasting my time. I appreciate the honesty, though. Absolutely. And then I think, yeah, rocking and rolling, guys. I appreciate you spending your time with me today. I really do. And for everybody who is, there we go. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, got another one in here. Let me see. So another question was that just got sent over was, what if I'm moving fast? If I'm a fast mover, can I get everything done before the 67 days? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. The actual program is designed as a proven curriculum to go through 9 weeks, which is the 67 days. But if you're a fast mover, it's not a drip course. It's not a drip program, meaning like you're not going to have to wait until the next day to get a video or your training. We go through 1 training per day is the required process. 1 video per day, and then implement that training, and then show up on the call every 3 days so that we can see where you're going in your progress. That's going to be the best way to do this. Now, if you're a fast mover, let's rock and roll through this, right? Because we have to get you to start seeing the results and get these big wins. And if you can get everything done with the training aspect done in, let's say, 14 days or 22 days, right? Because you're just putting in 6 hours a day of training, then let's rock and roll. Let's do that, right? So it's not going to take 67 days, but that is how the actual program is designed so that you know for a fact that by day 67, you're set up to scale. Hopefully that answers all of the questions. I think we're doing good. Okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone for showing up live today and looking forward to seeing everyone who registered their call. If you do have any questions about what you discussed today, uh, shoot me an email. I'd love to continue the conversation, make sure that we have everything that you need. All right, guys, I am going to take off now and look forward to seeing you on the call. Take care, guys.